tender, juicy morsels of chicken, fluffy white rice cooked in broth, sautéed onions, celery, and mushrooms, all coming together to become the absolute classic of American comfort food known simply as chicken and rice. John here from Great Lakes Country. If you're wondering what's going on with my voice today, well, I don't have one. I've been fighting a bug, which came with a nasty case of laryngitis, and while I feel mostly okay now, my voice is still completely gone. So I've enlisted the help of my darling wife to record the voiceover for this video script that I've written. And speaking of my wife, I'd just like to take a moment here to express my undying adoration and unrelenting admiration for this amazing woman. She is the light of my life, and 1,000 years would not be enough time to count the reasons that I am thankful to have her in my life. And what's more, I'd like to use this extremely public platform to declare my intention to sell all of my guitars so that I can buy her a brand new car. And for that matter, how many hunting rifles does a guy need? And would it kill me to wear a nice shirt and tie once in a while? Anyway, voice or not, I figured this is the perfect time to make a video about one of my absolute go-to sick meals. Chicken soup is great, but for me, it's hard to beat a good wholesome bowl of classic chicken and rice when I'm feeling under the weather. This dish is super easy to make, and it takes less than an hour start to finish. It reheats great, and it even freezes well in case you want to save some for later. And best of all, I can make a pretty humongous batch of it for under $15. That's basically dinner for a family of 4 or 4 separate meals just for me. So let's get right into it and start making this delicious old-fashioned chicken and rice. We'll start by getting our chicken ready. I'm using 4 boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and I'm just going to go through and trim off any larger areas of fat hanging off these things. I won't go too crazy because a little bit of fat is perfectly good in chicken thighs, but I definitely don't need these big bands of fat on the edges of the thigh. And by the way, you certainly could use boneless, skinless chicken breasts if you prefer, though I definitely recommend thighs because they're cheaper and they're going to be tastier in this dish. In any case, you could substitute 4 thighs for 2 breasts. Once these thighs are trimmed up a bit, I'll just cut them into some bite-sized pieces. Nothing too crazy here. Just slice each one into strips and then cut each strip up until I have a nice pile of approximately 1.5 inch size chunks. Next, I'll set the chicken aside in the fridge and we can knock out a little bit of the vegetable prep. First, 1 large yellow onion. I'll just give it a pretty standard chop, just about like you'd expect. Then I'll do the same with 4 ribs of celery. These celery ribs are pretty narrow, so I won't even bother slicing them the long ways first. And we need a little bit of fresh parsley, finely chopped. We only really need about 3 tablespoons of it, but I do like to have extra on hand for garnishing later. Lastly, some sliced white mushrooms, about 2 cups worth. These came already sliced, and that means the vegetable prep is done and we're ready to cook. So I'll get my big Enamel Dutch oven heating up over medium-high heat, and in goes 4 tablespoons of butter. While that's melting, I'll just mention that this is my preferred cooking vessel for chicken and rice, but a large, very deep skillet works nicely as well. Just make sure that it's big enough to fit all your ingredients, and stir them without spilling stuff all over the sides. Oh, and it needs to have a snug-fitting lid. Anyway, once that butter is melted, in goes the onions, celery, and mushrooms. I'll sprinkle a pretty heavy pinch of kosher salt over those veggies and just let everything cook for a couple minutes. And when the onions are just barely starting to get a little translucent, I'll scooch all of the veggies over in the pan a little bit and throw in that cut up chicken. I'll let the chicken start to get a little bit of color on one side before ultimately mixing everything in the pot together. Now it's just a matter of letting it all cook for maybe 5 more minutes. We just want the veggies to be softened and the chicken to no longer appear pink on the outside. We're not trying to cook the chicken pieces all the way through here. Just get them looking white instead of pink. Now to just throw in all of the other ingredients. About 3 tablespoons of the chopped parsley, a heavy pinch of black pepper, 1.5 cups of ordinary dry white rice, 3 cups of chicken broth. Get that all stirred together very thoroughly. And then I let everything cook for a couple minutes until the mixture reaches a low boil, at which time I'll reduce the heat as low as possible and put a lid on the pot. Now it's just a matter of letting it all simmer on very low heat for 25 minutes. And after 25 minutes, I'll remove the pot from the heat and just leave it alone, with the lid still on for 10 more minutes. Now the lid is coming off, and I'll give everything a gentle stir with my spoon here, and that's it. Now this big old pot of piping hot comfort is ready to serve. Maybe a little extra parsley just to make it look extra pretty, and it's time to dig in. Comforting Filling, simple, delicious. The perfect food to eat whether you're sick or whether you just want to feed your pack of hungry beasts for less than $15. If you would like to see the full written out recipe for this chicken and rice dish, I'll put a link to it in the video description below. In the meantime, be sure to like and subscribe and stay up to date on all of our latest stuff, including future food videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, he's John, and this is Great Lakes Country.